Here, suspended in the cool pre-dawn air, we begin our journey. Below us lies Bishkek, the capital of Kyrgyzstan, a city cradled by giants. The first rays of sun are just beginning to touch the highest peaks of the Alatu mountain range. These are the Tian Shan, the Celestial Mountains, and they form a magnificent, jagged crown to the south of the city. Their snow-capped summits glow with a soft, ethereal pink, a promise of the day to come. The deep valleys below are still draped in shadow, holding on to the quiet stillness of the night just a little longer. It is a world waking up slowly, peacefully, at its own natural pace. From this vantage point, the scale of nature's artistry is profoundly clear. The mountains are not merely a backdrop. They are a living, breathing presence that defines the very character of Bishkek. Now we drift lower, moving from the wild edges of the mountains to the very lungs of the city itself. Bishkek reveals itself to be an astonishingly green place. From above, it appears less like a concrete jungle and more like a sprawling urban forest. Great swathes of green dominate the view, a testament to the city's Soviet-era planners who envisioned a garden city. Countless trees line the streets, their mature canopies forming verdant tunnels over the avenues below. The parks are like great green lakes embedded within the urban grid. Panfilov Park, with its old-fashioned Ferris wheel, appears as a dense patch of woodland. We can see the larger expanse of Oak Park, a historic and tranquil heart of the city, its ancient trees providing a deep, cool shade. From our aerial perspective, these parks are not just recreational spaces, they are vital ecosystems. Even the residential areas are remarkably green. The city's green character is also sustained by a network of water channels, or ariks, that run alongside the streets. As we glide over the city center, the underlying structure of Bishkek becomes strikingly apparent. It is a city built on a grid, a legacy of its Russian and Soviet past. The streets are remarkably wide and straight, intersecting at perfect right angles. Chai Prospect, the main artery, cuts a broad, clear path through the heart of the city. The architecture itself tells a story of a different era. Scattered among the trees are the solid, imposing forms of Soviet-era buildings. We see the stark, white marble of the government buildings, the grand facade of the opera and ballet theater, and the monumental structure of the State Historical Museum. Yet, this rigid geometry is softened by the life that flows through it. We can see the first trolleybuses of the day, moving like slow, gentle beetles along their electric wires. Small cars and marshrutkas, the local minibuses, navigate the intersections with a practiced, unhurried rhythm. Even from this height, we can perceive the flow of daily life beginning to swell. We now drift towards the symbolic heart of Bishkek, and indeed of all of Kyrgyzstan, Alatu Square. From our vantage point, the square appears as a vast open space, a clearing in the urban forest. It is an enormous rectangle of granite and concrete, designed to inspire a sense of awe and national pride. In the center stands a tall flagpole, the red tunic of the Kyrgyz flag a bright splash of color. At this early hour, the square is almost empty, its scale even more pronounced in the absence of crowds. Dominating the southern end of the square is the imposing structure of the State Historical Museum. In front of it, a monumental statue of Manas, the epic Kyrgyz hero, sits astride his horse, a powerful silhouette against the distant mountains. The square is a carefully composed scene, a piece of urban theater where every element has been placed for maximum symbolic effect. Two lone soldiers, tiny figures in crisp uniforms, begin their slow, measured march. As we watch, the first few people begin to cross the square. A cyclist glides silently across the expanse. A family pauses to take a photograph. A city worker sweeps the steps of a monument. Moving westward from the formal city center, the neat grid begins to soften, and a different kind of energy becomes visible. We're now approaching Osh Bazaar, one of the largest and oldest markets in Central Asia. From the air, it's a sprawling, chaotic, and wonderfully vibrant organism. It's a dense maze of rooftops, a jumble of corrugated iron, colorful awnings, and makeshift shelters. Unlike the orderly geometry of the city's avenues, the bazaar has grown organically over many years, a labyrinth of narrow alleyways and crowded courtyards. Even from this height, the bazaar is a hive of activity. The first vendors are setting up their stalls. unfurling tarps and arranging their wares. We can see the different sections of the market taking shape from above. The colors are beginning to emerge. Pyramids of red apples and yellow melons, piles of green herbs, and the bright patterns of textiles hanging up for display. This is a place where the modern city connects with its Silk Road heritage. The bazaar is a microcosm of Central Asian life, a testament to the enduring importance of human connection. We now turn our gaze towards a newer, yet no less magnificent landmark on Bishkek's skyline. It is the Imam al-Sarkasi Central Mosque, a gift from Turkey and one of the largest mosques in Central Asia. From our aerial perspective, it is a vision of classical Ottoman architecture, a stunning contrast to the Soviet-era structures that surround it. Its great central dome seems to float above the city, a perfect hemisphere flanked by smaller domes and semi-domes that cascade downwards in a beautiful, harmonious arrangement. The most striking features are the 4 minarets that stand like slender, elegant sentinels at each corner of the main building, their pointed spires tipped with golden crescents that glint in the sun. The mosque and its surrounding courtyard occupy a huge city block, creating a self-contained world of peace and devotion. The intricate geometric patterns of the stonework in the courtyard are clearly visible from above. At this hour, the mosque is tranquil. A few early worshippers, small figures in a vast space, can be seen making their way across the courtyard towards the prayer hall. From our high perch, we can trace the network of water that gives Bishkek its life. The city is crisscrossed by rivers and canals, their paths visible as shimmering blue and green lines woven through the urban landscape. The main river, the Ala Arka, flows down from the mountains, its course a meandering natural corridor of green that cuts through the western part of the city. Alongside the natural rivers, there is the man-made network of canals. The Great Chui Canal is the largest of these, a wide, straight channel that runs along the northern edge of the city. Smaller canals and the previously mentioned ariks branch off from these main sources, carrying water deep into the city's residential neighborhoods. This water system is the city's circulatory system. We can see small bridges crossing the canals, and people strolling along the pathways that run beside them. Observing this network from above provides a clear understanding of Bishkek's dependence on the mountains. The entire system is fed by the annual melting of the snow and glaciers in the Alatu range. As the day begins to draw to a close, the quality of the light changes once again. The sun, now low in the western sky, bathes Bishkek in a warm, golden glow. This is the golden hour, a time of magical transformation. The long shadows of the buildings and the tall poplar trees stretch out across the parks and avenues, creating dramatic patterns on the ground. The white marble of the government buildings now takes on a soft, honeyed tone. The entire city seems to slow down, to soften as it prepares for the approaching evening. The leaves of the trees seem to catch fire, their greens and yellows intensified by the warm light. The water in the canals and rivers becomes a liquid gold, reflecting the colors of the sunset. The distant Alatu Mountains, which greeted the dawn with a cool pink, are now painted in deep shades of orange, red, and purple. Their rugged silhouettes are sharply defined against the vibrant sky. In the parks, more people are out, enjoying the cool of the evening. The city is no longer a place of work and commerce, but a place of community and relaxation. As the last sliver of the sun disappears behind the horizon, the sky deepens to an indigo blue, and the first stars begin to appear. One by one, and then in their thousands, the lights of Bishkek switch on below, transforming the city into a new kind of landscape. The rigid grid of the streets now becomes a glittering lattice of gold and white lights. The main avenues, like Choi Prospect, are brilliant rivers of light, flowing through the darker patches of the unlit parks. From above, the city is a beautiful, sprawling constellation, a mirror of the starry sky above it. The city has a different pulse at night. We can see the bright clusters of light that indicate restaurants and cafes, where people are gathering to share a meal and conversation. The headlights of cars move like slow comets along the illuminated streets. The windows of the apartment blocks are warm, yellow squares, each one a small vignette of family life. Our aerial journey is coming to an end. We have watched this remarkable city wake, live through its day, and settle into the quiet of the night. As we drift away back towards the silent, starry expanse, we take with us a lasting impression of serenity. Bishkek is a reminder that a city does not need to be loud and chaotic to be great. It is a gentle giant of a city, and from the quiet of the night sky, it offers a silent, beautiful invitation to relax, to explore, and to simply be.